In celebration of 5 solid and successful years, the Women's Voice and Leadership Nigeria project is delighted to share the journey of thousands of impact stories and changed lives across the nation.
It's been a journey over the years, even before the program came about. Women's rights work in Nigeria has been an interesting one. Women's rights movement has been pushing, has been doing lots of work over the decades, and we've seen a couple of results here and there, but there were huge challenges that we thought that an organizing or a project like WVL will be able to have a shift in the needle. And so in designing this program, our thought and intention was, how would we put women in the center of this, get resources in the hands of women-led organization to be able to shift that needle, those needles, shift that, make that change, those shifts that we are looking at, and get the result that we desire. So clearly that was in our mind, that was the intention in the design of the program.
Funded by Global Affairs Canada, the 5-year project, implemented by ActionAid Nigeria, was created in 2019 to empower women and girls by tackling gender equality barriers and supporting their empowerment by providing diverse resources to local feminist women's rights organizations in Nigeria.
If we go back in 2016-17, Canada has decided to do a review of its international assistance. And we conducted a very massive consultation with people throughout the world, asking them what will make the difference, what Canada can make as a difference in poverty reduction. And one of the highlight of this consultation was that focusing on women and girls will have a great impact.
A 5-year predictable funding arrangement was set up with the aim of supporting the core mandates of 100 local women's rights organizations, LWROs, and networks at the community, state, and national levels.
The Women's Voice and Leadership Nigeria project is a flagship project that set out to increase the enjoyment of human rights for women and girls in Nigeria, as well as advance gender equality. And then this project has 3 main intermediate outcomes. And the first outcome was, the project set out to improve the management and sustainability of local women's rights organizations. On the second outcome, the project also set out to improve the knowledge and practices of this local women's rights organization. And thirdly, the project set out to improve the effectiveness of subnational, national, and regional women's rights movements, alliances, and networks to be able to affect policy and social change in Nigeria. And this project is implemented in 6 states in Nigeria and the FCT.
This provision allowed beneficiary organizations to continue the implementation of either an ongoing intervention or new interventions in the women's rights space.
Nigeria was chosen for many reasons. In terms of the country as a whole, we have a vibrant women's group and social issues that affect women and girls in Nigeria. So that gives you a good space in terms of engaging with local actors or women's actors who are driving the change agenda in Nigeria. The second one is the fact that ActionAid Nigeria as a program is also very active. We are known as a very feminist organization. Like we tell people, we are not a gender-focused organization. We have a bias in advancing women's rights, women and girls' rights in Nigeria. And so we've been very active in terms of positioning ourselves and the work we do in advancing gender equality in the country.
The project did not necessarily focus on one specific area, such as health, education, and governance. Instead, it really empowered women to identify their challenges and needs and program accordingly regardless of the sector. This approach really led to creative strategy and approach that are adapted to the context, and those learning from those strategies we can really take on and apply for future programming.
The low level of participation of Nigerian women in politics over the years was another pivotal challenge to solve by the WVLN partners.
Because of the parochial nature that Kwara is entrenched, culturally they don't see women to be at the place of leadership. Well, the WVL project has actually done a lot of advocacy sensitization through the media, and you're seeing women coming out. You see women coming out for House of Representatives, women coming out for Senate, and I think that going forward, at the area where it matters, and that is local government elections, women are coming out, and I think that if this project continues, it will strengthen the capacity of women, and we'll have more women that are going to buy in for offices.
Our women, they have a role to play not only in the domestic operation, but even in terms of politics. And constitutionally, women were given 5% roles to hard positions. Unlike before, they were not given the opportunity. In Bauchi State government, we have about 4 commissioners, women, and in the local government in particular within the state, we were able to get 2 councillors as a result of the experience we had from the Sabira Foundation programs.
One thing that stands out is encouraging young girls to participate in politics. They never had interest. In the tertiary institutions, we just had men always being the student union government president, But with intervention by GADA, which is supported by ActionAid and funded by Global Affairs Canada, we did a lot of intervention and engagement and advocacy in the tertiary institutions. UNICAL, University of Cross River State, College of Health Tech. And that encouraged the girls to come out, so that right now, the vice president of student union government in University of Cross River State is a girl. And the same thing in University of Calabar. In fact, in the College of Health Tech, it's a female, a woman that is the head of the SUG.
Going by our tradition, women are not allowed, given the privilege, to be part of any government setup. I mean, when it comes to community setup, and then they are asked to stay away at the background. But we discovered that women are really very important in decision making. So before now, they don't allow them to be part of what they're doing here. But my comment changed that scenario. By employing the cooperation and services of women, I've experienced a lot of peace here. And that gave me the comfort I'm enjoying today because of what they have been able to achieve.
The WVL funding and approach is one of the best approach to addressing women organizing, women networking, women advocating and pushing and succeeding to get the agenda of gender equality a reality.
The WVL project has made significant strides in promoting women's inclusion on traditional councils in Enugu, Bauchi, Kebbi, and Cross River states. This progress is largely due to ongoing advocacy, campaigns, and capacity-building efforts by WVL partners. Additionally, community leaders are actively working to change harmful socio-cultural practices that perpetuate gender inequality.
Before Action Aid come, sometimes they'll come and touch you like this. If you talk, they will say, aha. If you talk when I touch you, after all, look at you, you are a creep, And if you take in action, like we should go and meet our leaders, talk to them, they'll say, what's happened now? Let him be touching you now. Is there any problem with touching you? After all, you are a creep. Who will come and marry you? But for now, if anything happens, we used to talk. We used to even go police station and report them, and they will take action on that.
We saw the need to train the women and girls. Firstly, we trained the girls as gender-based violence advocates in the community. We trained community watch women and watchdogs. We now create I Support Her Club in the community. That's for men that support women.
Akpọkwala m gaa n'aka igwe wee sikwa ha ekwe m ihe bụ oke m ekwe ha ya mezie m ihe kpọọ m gawa na wako ka m gazie nweta enyemaka.
The 5 years we spent with Action Aid, giving us training and retraining us on how to do so many things, we were able to have about 38 judgments in court. of life imprisonment just for rape cases.
Until the commencement of the WVN Nigeria project, Kwara State did not have a single shelter or safe space for SGBV survival. But through our collaboration with the Ministry of Women Affairs and with support from ActionAid and Global Affairs Canada, that shelter was put in place. The dilapidated structure was renovated, equipped and put in place and in use. And a lot of women and girls that would have gone back to the community and continue receiving violence were put in this shelter and are still in this shelter. At least as of today, we still have 5 cases in the shelter awaiting court judgment. But while they are awaiting the court judgment, they're in the shelter to receive support from GLOAC through ActionAid and Global Affairs Canada.
The project impacted a lot in my academic life in this school because before, if they ask me what's my next plan after secondary school, I would say it's marriage. But after the GBV came to our school, I learned a lot that after my secondary school, I need to further more about my education, not to become a liability to my parents at home.
Well, we are particularly proud of the fact that in Amagwa Kebugo community, that with the advocacy by the women, our peer educators in Amagwa Kebugo community, with assistance and support of WINET and ActionAid Nigeria, the community decided to stop that female genital cutting. So we are really, really proud of that.
Now, our initiative opened our eyes. Tell us that the same rights we could have, I, Adiara, have the same equal rights. Now, in fact, women we are enjoying in our community now. Because if they want to share our parents' property, they will remember that women are still there. They will share for us. Like me, seated here, my mother's property, I'm collecting rents, of which in those days, there were not something like that. They only say, male child have the mother and the father property.
We are able to collaborate with other CBOs to translate this VAP law into Hausa language for us to intervene smoothly within our own local community, because some of them, they are not that well educated. So we are able to translate it and use it in our various sensitization and awareness creation.
The economy of any nation requires the joint effort of the populace, both men and women. However, equal opportunities for empowerment do not cut across the gender lines in favor of the women.
The coming of healthcare support into this Ikemeti Autonomous changed life of some women because, like me, I can do that soap to help my family. Since we started it, I use it to help my husband and the family. Like we support in paying school fees, even after when I go to market, after doing it, after producing it, selling, I will help to buy some certain things that we are using in the family.
The first thing we are able to do, which we're still doing up to now, which we continue to do every Thursday for our women, is we gather women-led businesses, we train them in business management, loan management, even up to personal self-hygiene, self-management, packaging your business, etc. For those that are already doing business, we do capacity building for them. Like we teach them how to properly run their business. How do you run your business? Do you take record? They were not taking any record, they just do business. Mokpa 1 naira, Mokpa 2 naira. At the end of the day, I cannot see the money. Witchcraft has taken the money.
Nígbà tí mo join wọ́n kọ́ wa láwọn ẹ̀kọ́ oríṣiríṣi. Wọ́n kọ́ wa bọ́n ṣe ń sin ẹja, bọ́n ṣe ń dá oko, tó jẹ́ kó gbogbo nǹkan máa lọ déédéé, bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe ìgbín, bọ́n ṣe ń sìn ìgbín. And then wọ́n tún kọ́ wa bọ́n ṣe ń ṣe pef. Wọ́n kọ́ wa bá ṣe ń ṣòwò. Bí èèyàn ṣe lè sọ 5,000 di 10,000. Téèyàn ò ní ná owó ojú ọjà mọ́ èrè. wọ́n kọ́ wa so mo dẹ̀ rí gain ìṣẹ̀ tó yẹ pé ó kódà in fact mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run tó wọ́n yá mi lówó mo dẹ̀ dá padà àfi ṣe business náà ni àfi jájàlẹ̀ adẹ̀ta ta rere lórí ẹ̀ta tó fi já mi so ọjà yẹn move.
As we empower these women, we now saw the need that although they are making the money, yes, but another thing that was an adverse effect to them was the taxes that kept increasing. And mind you, these women, they work with small and medium scale business. That's the kind of business they have. So it's not a large scale business whereby they can endure so much taxation. So we had to go into the marketplace to carry out assessment, to know about what the women go through when it comes to exploitation of women-owned business. So we now saw that some of them were harassed, not our women per se, but our women giving us the feedback that the marketplace, where you have both the young girls and the women selling their little goods, in the bid to collect tax, they are being harassed by the tax collectors, which could be touted sometimes. So we now looked into that, and we did a proposal to ActionAid, and we're funded for that. It was actually part of the intervention, part of the project we're running with them. So with that, we could create awareness on taxation. We did not do that alone. We collaborated with IRS, that's Internal Revenue Service, Board of Internal Revenue Service, Cross River State. We also collaborated with the Tax Justice Platform and FIDA, because FIDA have their presence in the tax office. So with that, they created so much awareness in the community that the women got to understand what they needed to pay and what they should avoid paying.
One of the many wins of the WVL project was the organizational restructuring of several women's rights groups, such as the National Association of Women Journalists, which was also empowered to procure an administrative space of its own.
NAWOJ was fortunate to be chosen as part of the WVL project. I believe it was a recognition of our need, because NAWOJ had been in existence for 23 years at the time, but we were not really structured as a proper non-governmental organization. And the partnership provided opportunity for us to be trained, to be structured. Right now, we have our office. At that time, our office was domiciled in the NUJ, but with the partnership with ActionAid, we got the opportunity to have our own office. So we have a properly furnished and functional office with staff. We have a program officer, we have an accounts officer. We also have the procurement officer. And we're also working with other organizations because we've been trained and we are positioned to even access grants and funds. We have an NGO that has trained us too in terms of structure, and we now have strategy plan for going forward.
When ActionAid met us, we were living in a borrowed apartment. We don't own an office space, but they were able to help us to sustain a particular rent where we were before and we could not be able to pay. After that, ActionAid was able to also, give us a lot of trainings. We experienced 18 physical trainings with ActionAid, and we have had about 16 online trainings with ActionAid. We have laptops, we are all bought by ActionAid. It's part of the support that was given to us as well. Those grants we were able to manage, and then we were able to put up this fantastic building where we run an institute now. This is where they met us at zero level, and now we are able to sign an MOU with them where we manage 6 CBOs under us.
These achievements highlight significant strides towards gender diversity and inclusivity amidst the commendation for ActionAid's remarkable execution of the WVLN project, generously funded by Global Affairs Canada, and the jubilant commemoration of 5 years of impactful endeavours and promising prospects. There is still yet more to be done.
In the 4 years of the WVL projects and implementing of the Feminist Hub platform, we've had over 25,000 visits to the website. This means that on the average, we have 10 visitors coming to the platform daily to download our resources. We've had over 10,000 downloads on the platform from people worldwide, women, girls, even men, coming to our platforms to get resources. What does this mean to us? It means that these women-led organizations are getting the resources and using it to build their capacities and to make their work better.
In the past 16 years that I have been monitoring projects and evaluating projects, diverse development projects. WVL project is actually one of the few projects that I have come across that actually puts innovation as mainstream on the project. The WVL project enabled organizations to find indigenous solutions, local solutions to their challenges, and that was how innovation came about.
Testimonies that we've received and based on the interaction with the participants in the different women's rights organizations, and even by the recognition that we can see from the Women's Voice and Leadership Project at the federal level, definitely I think the Women's Voice and Leadership Project has had a great impact on the Nigerian society. In this case, we can say that the sum is higher than the addition of all the parties, because it's not only within the communities, it has impact on the policies, the implementation and the domestication of different laws at the state level, but as well as the community level, the interaction with the religious leaders, with the traditional leaders, etc., makes that it really had an impact throughout the society.
WVL1 is coming to an end. I want to say a very big thank you to Global Affairs Canada, who started this journey with us. Out of nothing, we started this partnership with Global Affairs Canada, and they trusted us and put this fund in the custody of ActionAid. We worked with all the women-led organizations, over 100 women-led organizations. The WVL2 that we are pursuing and we're hoping we're going to pursue will be a springboard to get all the second level achievements that we're envisaging in this new design. But clearly, WVL2 for us will be a game changer, and it's called 2 for a reason, not just 2 as a number or 2 as an add-on, but it's a next phase. It's also actually moving the needle much more further and being able to see the results in the lives of young girls. Young girls will be playing a critical role in this. We'll be seeing the results in movement, women's movement, how critical they will be. We'll be seeing the results still in our communities and our local women's rights organization. We'll see the results in, of course, at the national level. I think those are the kind of changes we will do. We also will be working with the government agencies to see those ones that will be supporting women's rights work, and we'll see how we can support and promote those kind of initiatives.
I would like to appreciate and thank all the contributors. You see, this is not their community. You cannot even imagine how some people from Canada will give out something reasonable to see to the development of my community. How do you think I can appreciate them? You know what to say that, but I appreciate them. We thank them on behalf of the Emirate Council from Argungu. We thank them very much. We hope if they are going to scale up, they will include Argungu again.
Mun gode ma ActionAid sosai, sannan su ma Canada muna godiya zuwa gare su.
Gaga.
Leo.